Hi guys, it's me, just Landriscina again, and I just saw this very interesting little news story about Donald Trump's newest mega project that he got in the works, and it's been quite funny because I'm a gamer through and through, but in this case it's that will come into play a little bit later in this video. But yeah, I have to admit, with his new idea for this Golden Fleet and Trump class battle cruisers or destroyers or whatever, it it serves as kind of an outrage to me because number one, he's a draft dodger. He shouldn't be able to have any command over any of the armed forces, let alone name a space force or a battleship, a ship of war class after himself, and he shouldn't be able to name a ship after himself to begin with, the USS Defiant, with his trademark fight symbol on it, or anything for that matter. Number two is that I feel that this battleship, this destroyer order, will quite possibly balloon the national debt to unfathomable levels, because each ship will cost between $10 and $50 billion. That's what it'd be. And I think he wants to order like 25 or so of them, so that'll be like easy $250 billion at least, with his, and that'll probably increase with his cost and furnishing and all this stuff. Kind of like the ballroom that has unlimited budget. It seems like, at first it went from $200 million to 250, then 300, now it's up to $400 million. So there's that, and we have no idea how much the argued Trump will cost the American taxpayer, no less. I'm sure. He'll find some way to make us pay the bill, and also for the fact that he's very good at spending other people's money. With almost unlimited budget of the U.S. Treasury, he's gonna triple the national debt, make it into balloon it into something much bigger, like a king's ransom, if you will. And also, there's also the strategic not nonsense that this new mega project, this whole big embedder and all this stuff that he's designing for himself will entail. That it's gonna be a very big a big target, if you will. Whereas nowadays the Navy is looking more towards smaller and faster craft to make the desired ship out of and all that stuff. But besides all that, remember how I said I was a gamer through and through? Well, this comes into play in this one because Trump wants to put his own image on each of these battleships or destroyers or whatever he's going to be doing, just like he did with all the banners around DC and stuff like that. So that's actually really funny that I were to think of that, because I can think of none other than this character to emphasize Trump's video game equivalent. Yet Dr. Eggman, and for those of you that are old school like me, this character, the original version of Dr. Eggman, what a lot like to call him Dr. Robotnik. Dr. Ivan Robotnik. No, I can't do the rolling R of the voice actor who did him in the Sonic, the Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog cartoon. But in particular, this whole thing with Trump putting own likeness on a ship really remind me of what Dr. Eggman did in this game, Sonic Heroes, in which you have a bunch of flying battleships that were all in the shape of fish and or sharks. And he has his face cartoonishly put on everything, much like the good doctor puts his face on every robot and machine of his. So it's actually really funny. It's very good it's very good video game adaptation of real life. You know, what is Donald Trump now gonna put, you know, is he now gonna evolve into a video game villain territory? I think he already has. But this also goes to Bowser being guilty of this too, and Wario, and also some Saturday morning cartoon villains have done this too, like Snidely Whiplash. I can't think of anybody else, but I'm pretty sure there are other examples of this. Now, it's really kind of stupid and funny at the same time, but I could think of something even better for you to think of. Remember in Sonic Adventure when this version of Robotnik sort of top his battleship of crap, I can't think of what it is now, but that big thing with the big laser on it kind of looks somewhat phallic and all that. Anyway, the point I'm trying to make here is that when he was on the battle cruiser about to go to war with Chaos at the time, he took a pose like imposing, intimidating, I'm ready for war, bring it on type pose. So I could just see Trump sitting on the bow of the ship, like that, like being prepared for war and saying, come at me, bitch, come on. Now, the name of Dr. Eggman's fleet in Sonic Heroes was, creatively enough, the Egg Fleet, which is exactly what Trump will name his little fleet there, the Golden Fleet, because he obviously doesn't know that many words, so he's gonna use the word golden for everything. And more likely, he's probably gonna outfit the damn thing with gold armor, gold gold weapons, or something taggy or gaudy, and something like that. So it's actually gonna be kind of funny, actually. And what's even more funny is that if let's say he does get his way and he puts his face where his likeness on the ship, it's right behind the armor that he is on. If he puts if the engines or the whatever core driving the fuel source is. So basically, what I'm trying to say is that if someone were to shoot or target this emblem of Trump on the ship itself, if it were to pierce the armor behind the picture of him, if that were to sink his battleship, if you will. That would just be real funny as all hell to me. I mean, granted, some tell me that Trump's little design ships would probably sink within 10 minutes of actually getting to open sea and stuff, because he's known for making cheap material and stuff that would easily break or sink at the moment's notice. So there's that. So I think that's what's gonna happen. I think it'll be like a big giant weak spot to have his face right where the most important critical parts of the ship are. And then you know what I'll say? Oops, there goes the $13 billion down the drain. Next mega project that will probably fail too. But another thing is that I'm a big Star Wars fan, and being that Trump already borrowed from Star Trek when he made his insignia for the Space Force in the form of the Starfleet command symbol, and he did change it around a little bit. I think that he's also going to pull in the Dr. Eggman move and and do another copy of another super weapon from that movie and franchise. I'm talking about the one only Death Star, which girl Dr. Eggman here copied over again and made into a Death Egg space station. And there are multiple versions of that too. So, yeah. And they all failed too. By a little blue hedgehog and his friends. But, I just really hope that Donald Trump doesn't follow through with that video game copy and pasting, because, that would be a blatant copyright infringement on the Death Star and the Death Egg, believe it or not. And it would just bankrupt not only the country, but the entire world too. And I think that's a good thing for Trump to do. I could just imagine him right now saying, broadcasting on TV or the radio or something like that. Well, I hope that nobody sees this big battleship and sees its one weakness, its one primary weakness of my face on there. I hope nobody finds out about it. Because that's stupid to say that. That's the weakness, that's the weak point of this ship. This big giant target of Trump going, no, you can't get me. And all that. That would just be the bee's knees and be funny as all hell to see him do that. So anyway, this is why I think that Trump is going to full-blown villain territories with this. Not only that, but a villain that always fails because of a little animal. But, yeah. I think that this little equivalent thing there is what you get from watching too many cartoons and too much, now that I think about it, Megabyte from the show, Reboot is also guilty of this to put his face on so many things that belong to him and are under his control. So I think that Trump probably just took a lot of influence from that show, from Sonic the Hedgehog, and from other bad guys, even villainy and all that. I'm sure that if he had his way, he probably twirl his mustache around like, ha ha ha, I'm gonna get you guys, next time. And then you hear Ted go, meow. So yeah. So, if you agree with me or not, that he is bringing to Doug Eggman from the Sonic universe. And by the way, I would like to take credit for being the first person I can make this comparison, because the announcement came out yesterday that he was building a golden fleet, which resembled the egg fleet from Sonic Heroes and the other things that they with Eggman and Sunday Whiplash and other villains that put their likeness on the warships and robots and things. Albeit in there it's funny and cartoonish, but in these cases they're very real and very expensive, and it wouldn't be funny if it were actually happening. But let me know if you guys agree with me on that. This is way before I figure I will do this video before I do any other Christmas stuff or do with Star Wars or anything else for that matter. Because this idea is just so funny and so comical and stuff. At first it was, probably, I was telling my father the other day that Trump will probably make a ship for himself or name something after himself on the open seas, or maybe a tank or something. But then again we were like, nah, he'll never do that. But then it's like, yeah, he will do that because it's very cartoonish and silly and really dumb. But that's our president for you. We live in the Epstein universe. We now have this guy as the leader of the free world. and he just as fat too as Eggman. But yeah, it's very funny. I'm gonna be surprised if one day we actually see Trump and a giant robot in his likeness. We might want to fit and buff. So yeah, I'm just Landriscina. I'm a gamer and I'm a big Star Wars nerd. So there's your comparison right there. Anyway, if you like what you see here, you want to see more of my channel and stuff, you can always like, comment, share, and subscribe to my channel. Or if you want, you can contact me for future information on my future videos by calling me or texting me at 631-707-3707. Or if you want, you can always get me on my follow me on Twitter or X if you prefer at PNelsonPro. My email is jjsviewingchannel@gmail.com. And gmail.com. And also, I would like to salute all of our troops in America and around the world. I feel really bad for anyone that wants to that has to work on Trump's golden fleet, and I feel really bad for those who have to serve on his golden fleet. I'm not gonna add anything to that, but yeah. Peace out, my brothers and sisters. This is supposed to be a peacetime president. He's making a bunch of worships of himself. Anyway, I thank you for watching my little video on this egg fleet and desert thing. And yeah, I'll see girls and guys in the next video. Sayonara, Avia thing, so long.